Listen up, new recruits, and welcome to the Freedom Academy. I'm stepping in today as your commanding veteran hero to lead this official onboarding briefing. You are sitting in those seats right now because, frankly, the world needs protecting, and we're going to get you field ready in record time. Let's dive right into how you're actually going to play Sentinel Comics, the role-playing game.
Just take a second and look at the legendary legacy you are stepping into. Sentinel Comics isn't just a basic backdrop. It is a massive, vibrant, decades-long historic multiverse, packed with heroes, villains, and literal world-shattering events. We're talking everything from the classic golden days of the Freedom Five, all the way to the absolute cosmos-altering aftermath of Oblivaeon. The sheer scale of this history really shows off the interconnected story you're now a crucial part of. You aren't just sitting around playing a game. You are stepping right onto the pages of comic book history. All right, Phase 1, the collaborative mindset. If you want to survive out there, we need to completely shift your thinking from basic tactical survival to a collaborative, narrative-first approach. See, we operate a bit differently here. In your traditional RPGs, you might just look at the game moderator and say, I roll to attack the robot. Honestly, that is so boring. Here at the Academy, you are co-writing a comic book right alongside your friends. You don't just roll some math rocks and hope for the best. You actually describe a dynamic, vividly illustrated comic book panel of a devastating uppercut. You are in the director's chair, driving the action panel by panel, bringing those pages to life. Moving on to Phase 2, mastering the core mechanics. Let's look at how that creative mindset builds into your actual tactical toolkit, because these are the underlying systems that will absolutely keep you alive when the lasers start flying. First up, you have to understand your limits, and we track that through the gyro system. Out in the field, as you take damage from dastardly villains or, falling debris, your health drops. But your adrenaline and the scene's tension naturally rise. So this tracker isn't just a static health bar. It literally dictates the kinds of powerful, desperate abilities you can tap into when the pressure is truly on. Pay close attention to how these 4 gyro zones function. You always start in the green zone. You're fresh, focused, completely in control. Take a few hits and you drop into yellow. Now you're pressured, sure, but you're also unlocking new tactical moves. Push even further and you hit red. Here, you're desperate, but man, you are incredibly dangerous. Finally, you might be knocked out. But listen closely, recruits. Being out simply means you are removed from the immediate action scene. You aren't dead. You can still impact the story and buff your team from the sidelines. Okay, next, let's talk about actually taking action. Every single maneuver you attempt uses a very specific dice pool. Unlike games where you roll a single 20-sided die, cross your fingers, and hope for the best, here, you will always assemble exactly 3 dice for every action you take. Building that dice pool requires you to combine 3 core elements of your character. First, you select a power. This represents your heroic talents, mutations like flight or super strength, or even your high-tech gear. Second, select a quality. These are your skills like ranged combat or historical knowledge, things you've honed through rigorous training. And third, check your status. This die comes directly from your current gyro zone or the scene's overall tension level. Combine those 3 elements and boom, your customized 3-dice pool is ready to roll. Now here is the brilliantly elegant core rule of resolution in Sentinel Comics. Once you roll those 3 dice, you just arrange them numerically from lowest to highest. You get your min, your mid, and your max dice. In almost every standard situation, your mid die, that middle number, is your primary result. It's a fantastic system that keeps the action moving at lightning speed without getting bogged down in complex math at the table. Phase 3, field actions. Once your pool is built, these are the tactical maneuvers you can actually execute when you hit the streets and face down the multiverse's worst. There are exactly 5 fundamental actions available to every hero, and you need to know these instinctively. You can attack to deal direct damage to villains and their minions. You can overcome to bypass environmental obstacles, hack mainframes, or pull civilians from the rubble. You can boost to create a mechanical advantage to help out an ally. You can hinder to slap a nasty penalty on an enemy's next move. Or you can defend to actively reduce incoming harm for yourself or your team. Each one has a highly distinct, strategic use in a fight. But hey, remember our golden rule. Before you ever touch those dice, before you even declare one of those 5 mechanical actions, step 1 is always describe what you want to do. Frame it as a vivid comic book maneuver first. Don't just stare at the game moderator and say, I attack the robot. Say, I grab the robot's head, brace my boots against its chassis, and try to twist it right off. The narrative flavor dictates the mechanics, not the other way around. Phase 4. Principles and twists. Because let me tell you, out there in the city, things will absolutely go wrong. Being a hero is all about how you handle the unpredictable nature of the job. You really must understand the cinematic twist. The twist is a complication, an unintended consequence. It changes up the story in wild, unexpected ways, and it most often happens when you're attempting an overcome action and your mid-die roll's just a little too low. Now, you might still succeed at disarming that bomb, but with a major twist, like say triggering a silent alarm in the process. These aren't just simple failures. They are narrative escalations that crank up the drama and make the story infinitely more engaging. You have to learn to embrace the twists. To navigate those twists, you're going to rely heavily on your hero principles. These are your core beliefs, your fundamental personality traits, and they're listed right there on your hero sheet. They act as essential guideposts for your role-playing choices. And here's the best part. When you lean into dramatic twists based on your specific principles, like the principle of justice or the principle of the hero, you can actually generate hero points to help your team out later. So it pays, both mechanically and narratively, to stay true to who your hero fundamentally is. Which brings us to Phase 5, your call to action. The mechanics are set, the mindset is locked in, and right now it is time for you to step up. I want you to let this quote sink in for a moment. Heroes do not always win, but win or lose, they are always heroes. That right there is the core philosophy that powers everything we do at the Freedom Academy. You are protectors of the weak and innocent. You won't always make the optimal tactical choice, your dice will sometimes completely betray you, and yeah, the villains will sometimes get away, and you know what? That is okay, because you will always make the heroic choice when it matters most. Earth's premier heroes simply can't be everywhere at once. You are the next generation. The world needs you to grab your dice, assemble your team, and tell an unforgettable comic book story together. Class dismissed. Now get out there and be heroes.